Hoş geldiniz. Sabah Holt, bugünkü ilk konumuz düğün organizasyonları. 3 değerli konuğumuz var. Bir Christina, biri Yasemin, biri de Elie. Öncelikle konuklarımızdan kendilerini kısaca anlatmalarını istiyorum. Christina, seninle başlayalım.
Hi everyone. So I'm going to get rid of these headphones for a minute. I do have a little presentation which I think explains my work a little bit better. Are we looking at this now? Or yeah? Okay. I'm going to get up so I can see, all right? I'm based in Cape Town, guys. I run a business called the Concepts Collection. It has 3 brands to it. We do weddings, events, corporate events, and private ones, and have a travel component. Can I have the thing? Do you have the click? Thank you. Yeah. And what we are is we actually are the destination. So we do destination weddings in terms of people coming to us. A bit like Turkey, I guess, where your beautiful country would invite guests to come. So I'm giving you a 2-minute run through, really quick, of some of our work and what we do. As a business, we are a boutique business. We are a small company. We do very high-end destination weddings and events. And as I just said, people come to us, so we are the destination. 80% of our clients are actually destination wedding clients. They reside all across the globe. And they have one thing in common, that is they are multicultural and they really come with very high expectations to us. 20% of our clients are South Africa's high net worth individuals, so we are very much in the exclusive niche of the market. We do a small amount of weddings per year, 40 of them roughly, but we have over 5,000 guests attending, and we operate under one premise, and that is exclusivity and personalization. What we don't do at all is any sort of package or formula-driven approach to our work. It's not who we are, it's very bespoke and very tailored. A few little facts or interesting finds. 1 in 4 couples from the US and the UK actually have a destination wedding every year, which is quite a remarkable statistic, and it's going up all the time. All these pictures are from our weddings, by the way, just so you know that this is all real. We also find that luxury is personal, and what we sell very much is an experience to our clients. Everything is very personalized to each one of them, as I said earlier. Another interesting fact which you may or may not be aware of is that Africa is considered the fastest growing luxury market in the world, and is going to possibly be that in the next 3 years. So we work with a lot of clients who are also based in other African countries, which is interesting. We have, for example, a lot of Nigerian clients who come to South Africa. And I'm just literally going to zip through a little bit of our work so you get an idea. This was a Nigerian couple. They got married with 200 guests plus 100 surprise guests who also came on the day in Johannesburg, so that's part of the challenge that we face. This was a prominent politician who got married with us with 600 guests and a beautifully styled outdoor lounge. South Africa is popular because it has a lot of beauty and scenery, much like here, and very consistent weather and very favorable exchange rates. Another very customized experience for a couple with lots of detail. Just if you look on the top right, you know, we even do photo shoots for the couple, so they have one little perfect tag for their umbrellas when they arrive. This is a Nigerian couple. We organized a polo match for them, so that was live in the background as they got married. And this is probably one of my personal favorites because it was in a very, very remote spot in Zimbabwe, so not in South Africa, just outside, in a marquee in the middle of the bush. We had elephants swimming past and interesting wildlife visiting us on the night. A little sort of impression of the inside and the detail. Safaris are obviously popular, and so we have a lot, specifically Americans, who are after a safari experience, and they combine it with a honeymoon or with a longer trip to the country. Beautiful 5-star lodge, again with a bride who had a thing about giraffes, so you can see we included them on the table. And this is really it. I'm happy to answer questions and take you further.
Sorulara geçmeden önce devam edelim. Yasemin Hanım'la devam edelim. Sonra Elie de konuşsun. Ondan sonra sorulara geçelim. Olur mu Yasemin? Sonunda mı bırakalım sizinki?
Ben de sunum
Siz yapın bence sonunda.
Türkçe mi konuşayım? Do you mind if I speak in Turkish? Does everybody understand English? I mean, I can do both. Okay. Good. Hello, my name is YASEMİN PİRİNÇCİOİOğlu. I've been in the business as long as I remember myself. And we have a company called VIP Event. It's another division of VIP tourism, actually. And one day we started this company called Cazibe. And Cazibe is, my first name is Jasmine in English, and then event and etkinlik in Turkish means the same. So we started our wedding concept. So I prepared this. It's about 4 minutes. It will sort of move on as I speak. Can we have, whoops. So VIP event presents Cazibe, the wedding planner for destination weddings and events. We do creative venue selection in Turkey and in Istanbul, and destination logistics, concept design and unusual ideas for the wedding, and Indian weddings in Turkey, which is a big trend nowadays. And of course we do outbound weddings as well, mostly to Florence and Rome, and maybe one day to South Africa, as we send a lot of tourists there as well, Turkish tourists. Okay, so just to say, these are the if you want to watch from here, it would be nice. These are the palaces that we have on the Bosphorus, and every picture is what we have created in these palaces, like the Said Halim Pasha Mansion over the Bosphorus, which is a beautiful place. The Topani Amire, 14th century big castle, where we did this Turkish Orientalist party that we call Türköri, and completely designed it in an Ottoman Turkish style, where we try to, in our designs, try to promote Turkish culture and Ottoman culture, or the Istanbulian culture, which you see in these 19th century palaces, try to blend in with the architecture, and of course the culture, and not do too much and not do too little, but give this aspect of ambiance and colors and harmony. This is the Esma Sultan Palace over the Bosphorus. It's a fusion of modern architecture with a 19th century skeleton of a building, where we plan colors and sort of adapt that into colorful implementation. And Asia, a dreamlike small town hotel on the Bosphorus, Çubuklu 29, where we had 1,500 people seated. We covered the pool to make it into a dance floor. And for the first time we made a wedding which is a black and white wedding, and the people dressed up in colors sort of made the color of the wedding. The French palace is a 17th century palace where we did a great event for Christian Dior, and sort of created this for them, and we're very the Ferie, it's a restaurant, but so beautifully located over the sea, and fantastically located between a mosque and the Golden Horn view. This is the Koç Museum. Actually, for those who know, this is the Koç Museum where the cars are. We took the cars out and made into a hall, ballroom. This is a wedding in Jordan, destination wedding in Jordan, in Petra, and in the Akabe Castle, and we had a wonderful wedding ceremony in Petra in the archaeological site. And of course we have some decorations that sort of remind of Turkey and the colors, and give the sort of color effect or some Orientalist touch at some points for events that take place in Istanbul and all around Turkey. This is one of the palaces, which is called the Küçük Su. This is a design that we did and created a huge Turkish carpet on the waterfront and put the tables there. It was beautiful. This is on the Suada. It's a small island on the Bosphorus, where we did an Indian wedding where we had about 600 to 800 guests. And these are from the Indian weddings that we used in the 1001 column cistern. Created tables, chairs, carpets, everything was designed for this wedding, specially designed. Of course, the main place is the Chiran Palace. This is from an Indian wedding from last year where we created stage on the water and the holy shrine on the water, and divided the whole place into, and used the Turkish sort of mirror combining with the Indian culture, and it was a magnificent setting. Hard work, a lot of people, good marketing for Turkey, for the destination. And we also did the Henna Day in the Yıldız Park, in the Imperial Park of Istanbul, where we had a setting for, again, 600 to 800 people who came to do the henna ceremony for the Indian wedding. So we do a lot of flowers. We work with a lot of florists according to the budget. This doesn't mean that we don't care about budget. We care about the budget. Each client has a different budget. Every bride has a different wish for her wedding, for her bride's day. So we go into colors, into whites, into beiges, into all sorts of ideas, and using most of the time historical sites. And I think that's it. I have a small film. I don't know if we have enough time. At the end, I can just sort of go. The beach weddings in Bodrum, in Marmaris. We did a fantastic, huge wedding in Bodrum on the beach in the middle of nowhere. We had Kempinski help us with the catering and the design of the land, because it was close. This is the Hilton Convention Center, which transformed the Hilton Convention Center into a Turkish Topkapı Palace and a Grand Bazaar for the YPO, and it was excellent. So 2,500 people came. So thank you. So this is it. Welcome to Turkey, and thank you, SİNAN.
Teşekkürler. Elie alalım.
Well, after looking at these beautiful pictures from all over the world, it's definitely amazing to be here today, me coming from Lebanon, today to showcase to you a beautiful wedding that we did for a Lebanese couple where the bride was born and brought up in Zambia in Africa. So let's have a look. I think we're missing on the sound. If we can just please play it again. So what you see in here are the flowers, vandas. This room was basically a warehouse at the Movenpick hotels and resorts in Lebanon. All handmade and tailor-made candle holders with allium flowers. The theme was pretty much purple. We injected a big shot of white colors in it to make it look endlessly enchanting, where an experience of the springtime was definitely brought to life. What you see in here are 8,000 flowers up in the ceiling, together with handmade runners from French linen. And that is supposed to be me. Not that I'm a model, but in here we see the staircase, which was already perfectly made as well for the groom and the bride to enter. A beautiful wedding made for 380 guests coming from all over the world, and mainly from Africa as well. I guess I'll leave the rest for to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Size kalabilir. Sizden başlayalım. Düğün destinasyonlarının en önemli faktörleri first beginning with you. What's the most important factor in a destination wedding?
The most important factor in a destination All right, I can't really do that, okay? I'm not part of the United Nations yet. Well, the most important factor of destination wedding, I believe it's very much what it means to the groom and the bride at the beginning, for it to feel like really sincere and real. And of course, we're really going to be very careful with how easy it is to come to that destination. Flights, medical services should always be present as well. This is definitely taking into consideration all the invitees that we have. Visa requirements. Destination wedding is not necessarily has to be something that is in this year. You know, like we've seen lots of beautiful destinations coming up for a year or for two, and then they vanish all of a sudden. I highly recommend it to be a destination that it means a lot to the couple and that is easily accessible.
Peki Christina, seninle devam edelim. Neden insanlar düğün destinasyonu olarak...
Bir dakika. Kulaklığını taksın.
Why are people choosing Southern Africa for their destination weddings?
That's not such an easy question to answer, but okay, so the country itself provides a lot of wonderful infrastructure, scenery, beauty, as I said earlier, really favorable exchange rate. So all of those things are already in place. They also know that we can deliver a really highly creative and extremely well planned experience for them. So in other words, if they're international and they have international expectations that they come with, they know that it can be executed in a country that for some people feels just a bit far or, you know, a bit strange, and it can be done. Like Cape Town, for example, was the design capital of the world in 2014. So a lot of the aspects there are right. And then companies like ours with a multicultural team, they feel understood. They know that that there are people behind the brand who can interpret what they are all about.
Yeah.
Shukran.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Yasemin, what is the difference between organization and the wedding party and the incentive?
Of course, it's the segment and the client is completely different, and the motive is completely different. But basically, the work is almost the same. So the client requests. The incentive client is a corporate client most of the time, and there is a team of people working for corporate communications, for their sales team, for their marketing team, so they're all together. So you have a lot of people, but they're all in one line, so it's much easier to do an incentive, even though the work is still hard. Yeah. But then in the wedding, you are dealing with moms, two moms, a bride who's very excited, and a groom who knows nothing about a wedding party. So there's a lot of conflicts amongst themselves before they get to know what they want. So the other ones are ready for a list of wishes. The incentive people, they have a request RFP. Their RFP is good, it's very corporate, and it's all one after the other. Whereas with the bride, you have to ask everything, and then they have to have a consensus in the family and not fight. I've seen marriages get broken around the table, and people go away. So that's the difference. But at the level of the work, operationally, it's the same hard work. Yeah. Thank you.
Evet, yes, Elie. How to choose a wedding planner online amongst all the compensation?
Well, Christina and I were actually talking about social media presence. I think it's definitely a great factor that now we have this privilege of having this amazing social media. It's very powerful. Yet I always look carefully at the testimonial, and I look at pictures to be in high resolutions. I look at imprints, I look at the thanking messages, I look at the ranking on the social media websites, on Alexa ranking as well. I look at newspapers, magazines. I would not recommend just any bride and groom to go online and book directly their wedding planner. A Skype call could be done. Personally, I'm always pretty much traveling. I can get to meet with my clients, meet halfway, sometimes in Paris, sometimes in lovely Geneva as well. So it really depends. But online is a great tool to start. Yet I think your sixth sense and intuition is always right. So, when your website is down and when your YouTube is broken, I'm like, there's something in there.
Yeah. Okay, Christina, how much do spend on their luxury destination wedding?
Right. Okay. Money. It's all about business for us, of course, to some level, but each project is so unique that it's always a very hard thing to answer. We have small projects and really large ones, and I think the highest budget spend that we've dealt with in South Africa is probably around just under $1 million for a wedding, but that is not saying that we don't also do small projects. And the relation between we have a lot of clients, we joke about that sometimes and say with a champagne taste on a beer budget. So they all, thanks to social media, they all want the best and biggest thing, but they don't really know how to calculate. So to deviate slightly, one of our main jobs is to educate how to get the best possible result for them and educate around finances. It can be anything. It can still be a luxury experience for not as much money, because what you put out is all around the detail, which makes the experience very much theirs and very unique.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Yasmin, what is your concept that makes you known?
Oh, well, I've been doing this for a long time. I think, and I'm second generation in the family business. So as a child, I've seen many concepts happen, and they were extraordinary. But the ever first concept that I personally created was a long time ago, and it was for a bank called the Ottoman Bank, and it was their 100 years. And they just called us to organize a fashion show, and they wanted a huge, really high-notch party with that fashion show. So I wrote a scenario and gave it to them, and then it was the lady of the CEO, the wife of the CEO, who was in charge, because they were going to have people from around the world, top clients, and it was really a hard job. I think that's the thing was that it was the ever first time that in Turkey, because when you want to be westernized, you do everything à la française, the English way, the American way. The first time I did Turkish food, the first ever time in Istanbul, we offered the real Turkish food that we eat in the Ahçıbaşı Lokantası, which is our sort of local restaurants, or at home. It was to give kapama to these top people. That was the thing. And then we took designs from the Ottoman Palace textiles, and I had them woven into tablecloths in Bursa. I found the people who make cloths and gave them the designs from the real costumes. And then we hang in the Turkish style. You do not hang Turkish carpets as flags. We hanged Turkish carpets from the above balconies of that palace that we used, the Yıldız Palace at the time, Silahane. So that gave the thing, and the tulip was, the carnation was our flower. Actually, carnation is more the flower of the Turks that they've been using more, even before the tulip. And so that Turkish flavor in the most refined taste, the flavor that we all take for granted in Turkey, was reflected, and we worked with Jean-Louis Scherer, and Monsieur Jean-Louis Scherer came from Paris because they had the bank was owned by the French. So Jean-Louis Scherer came, and he designed his clothes according to the designs that we sort of inspired them. Of course, we didn't design it, so that, since then, I always give that little Turkish touch somewhere. That's what's my concept.
All right, fine.
Thank you.
Well, I take the last questions. Eric, what is your advice to the new coming up wedding planners?
Well, we all started somewhere, and some of us, even myself, not too long ago. I think always considering yourself second would get you to the top of the list. Definitely always attending workshops all over the world, building connections, attending PR sessions, and surely lovely global meetings such as the World Tourism Forum. It's imperative for you to stay up to date and to foresee what's happening and what's coming next. And try not to copy anyone, because selling copies was never more expensive than selling the real item. That's what I have to say. Have your own taste in that. What about you, Christina?
I just wanted to add, what is incredibly important as well is I think none of us are sitting here in our own capacity. We all have a team that, help us be who we are. So I wouldn't be anyone without my team and without all our beautiful partners in the industry. It's all about relationships. It's the networking part is important, but we're only ever as good as our last event or our last wedding. So it's if you nurture these relationships, both internally with your staff and externally in the market, that is, I think, something that we've found out is a very successful. It's a recipe to propel you forward.
Yeah, thank you. Christina, why are destination weddings becoming more popular?
The couples that seek us out are becoming older and older. So, for example, on average, I think they're now in their mid-30s, early to mid-30s. They're all successful professionals. They travel for work. They have a sense of adventure. They can afford often to finance their own celebrations. It's no longer just the parents doing that. So they're looking for an adventurous, different solution. They don't want to get married in the hotel next door, which maybe 15 of their friends did. They want to take that sense of, having seen a lot and done a lot themselves into their wedding day. And the statistics prove it. It's a hugely successful trend. And they can get service anywhere. The world is a small place now.
Okay, thank you. Yasemin, and last question. What is your style? And toparlarsanız süper olur.
Well, of course, we are an inbound and outbound company, and the two divisions are completely different from each other. Obviously, as an outbound company, we would love to present you in Turkey to our clients and sort of promote. Obviously, Turkish weddings are as immense as Indian weddings. We get 1,000 people at weddings, 300 people, 500 people. We don't have small weddings. But it would be lovely to do weddings in South Africa and even in Lebanon. I mean, why not? Or maybe somewhere else. Around Switzerland, yes. And of course, we are promoting Turkey and doing weddings and events in Turkey needs a lot of marketing. And obviously, our personal marketing is not enough. So maybe we need to do marketing together and pass the word on. I think that the most important part of this business, as a business, of course it's a lot of fun designing, creating, putting things together, working with the team, working with different suppliers, putting them together, etc. But at the end of the day, it's all about business and marketing. So that's where we have to excel. And Turkey needs to do that more as a destination. And we as companies, we have to bring our brands out. I think brand is very important, that you are known with a brand and not only with the designer's name. Like I always look up at Karl Lagerfeld and how he creates his fashion shows. If you ever watched the last one, for example, he creates an event. Because style is about life, and it's to make people happy. So we are in the business of making people happy. And people get happier with their clothes, with their environment, with their flowers, with their hair, with their makeup. There's a huge industry out there. So we have to be the people who understand that all. And Karl Lagerfeld is the designer, but the brand is Chanel. So we have to know that. And the destination is Paris in that case. So if we can take, that as an example for ourselves, it is wonderful. I do really advise everybody to look into YouTube and see Chanel's parades, as we did. For example, just to finish, we did Turkish costumes, the real ones that are from museums, that are pieces from museums, worn by not models, but normal people, friends, university students, ladies who were not too tall, normal height, because the clothes are for normal people, and 200-year-old costumes. And we did the old Turkish bridal parade. And that bridal parade was like mesmerizing. The Turks and the foreigners at that bridal parade, they loved it. And it's something we all forgot. They had Indian feathers on them from the regional parts of Turkey. So things like that, conceptual style, lifestyle, and brand marketing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for...
Thank you Elie, thank you Christina, thank you Yasemin. Filmle sonuçlandıralım. Bir Yasemin Hanım'ın filmi vardı, onu da verelim.
Evet, video. No, I had a film, a video var. Bir tane benim sunumumun dibinde bir Vimeo var, bilmiyorum. Hazır mı? If we don't have... sunumun en dibinde. Let's ask, soru var mı acaba? Sunumun sonunda video yoksa soru var mı?
Evet, varmış. Buyurun efendim.
Ayağa kalkarsanız kendiniz. Birisi bir şey verebilir mi?
Hello, this is Mine from Lebanese İstanbul Atiler. I was curious about actually the Indian weddings. This is a sector that I really would like to be in part of, and I really would like to see how to be a part of. So I was curious how to just attract them, and what are the tips and tricks for the Indian weddings?
All right. I think with any foreign culture, if it's not your own, it's about doing the research. Okay, it's about understanding what's the ceremony about. Why is there a fire element to the ceremony? What are the colors? All the details. So understand who your clients are. To start with, what are the cultural important pieces that need to be woven into the day? Be prepared for very, very large groups. And with any wedding, I guess, but maybe specifically also with the Indian ones, for a lot of family politics and dynamics, that you're dealing with entire clans of different people. And in terms of if you want to start your business or want to be involved in it, I think a starting point, I always say, a good business plan. Is there a niche? If there is, go for it.
In addition to what Christina has amazingly said, I can also add that it would always be great to start meeting and dealing with Indian friends, or if you would travel first to India, just go there as a tourist and have look at it as a tourist, and then look at it as a bride, and look at it as a local. Really have different point of views, and it's amazing what you can see and learn from that culture. They love partying, they love endless nights, and a lot of beautiful hot colors, flowers. Definitely very, very lavish, and it's very emotional celebrations. In the upcoming October, we have an Indian wedding happening in Dubai at the Sofitel on Palm Jumeirah. And already, you know, the hotel can barely wait until it happens because Indian weddings like party non-stop.
Smile. Evet. Başka sorusu?
Such a group of such 300, 500 people, they consider for the budget, I think. So, can you manage by scheduled flight or charter flight, or how you arrange for them for ticket?
All right, yes. You asked about air tickets, for those of you who didn't hear it. I have to be honest with you, we don't deal with the air ticket part because we do not offer anything packaged at all. So for us, it's all about the customized angle. But we find that, yes, if it's big groups traveling, of course, through the airlines, it's quite an easy way of, you know, booking certain flights for them and putting groups onto one plane, if they all originate from one place. If they don't, then that's obviously slightly different, and often they don't. I don't know if any one of you deals with
Yes, we have a ticketing department that will handle maybe a special price for that event specific, and mostly if they're coming from one country, it's much easier. We'll deal with the airline for them and try to get them a special price for a certain period. So it's our ticketing agents will handle that according to the request of the client, if necessary, yes.
Okay. Başka soru? Yok. Teşekkür ederiz o zaman. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.